As Christians, we need to be ashamed. As the church, we need to be ashamed. Our divided reactions over the last few months around things like coronavirus and lockdown, and now the racial tensions around the killing of George Floyd, it all speaks volumes towards the lack of unity and cohesion amongst the saints. How did we get like this? How did we lose the plot so badly? How can you have one Christian fighting another over something that is so clearly and obviously wrong and unjust? Now, it's one thing for us to discuss a non-believer's reaction to these catastrophes, but that is not our place. It's God's prerogative. In the Word it says, "For what have I to do with judging outsiders? Is it not those inside the church whom you are to judge? God judges those outside." As Christians, we can and should call out each other's poor behavior. Now, I have a suspicion that the reason why we have fallen so far away is because we've lost touch with God's Word, God's perfect Word here in this book. If only we learnt to look to God for guidance and direction, if only we took His Word seriously, if only we read His Word seriously and His promises and took them seriously, things would be different. Our reaction to these things would be different. We have become so detached from the Word, so reliant on our own intellect, that we think that we are inherently wise enough to pronounce judgment upon situations and on people. But let me tell you what the Word has to say about that. "Let no one deceive himself. If anyone among you thinks that he is wise in this age, let him become a fool, that he may become wise. For the wisdom of this world is folly with God." So here's the thing. There is no such thing as truth apart from God. There is no such thing as wisdom apart from God. Jesus is truth. Jesus is our guide. And Jesus gave us two very important commandments. One of them, a lawyer asked him a question to test him. "Teacher, which is the great commandment in the law?" And he said to him, "You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind. This is the great and first commandment. And a second is like it. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. On these two commandments depend all the law and the prophets." I dare say we have forgotten these things. It is not a coincidence that in Luke's recounting of this particular episode, immediately thereafter we go into the story of the Good Samaritan. This is where Jesus tells the story of a Samaritan who rescued a Jew who had been waylaid on the side of the road after two of his fellow Jewish brothers just left him for dead. Now, that speaks volumes, because these are two cultures who are supposed to hate one another, and yet he loved and cared for and treated his neighbor well. Let us not forget these things, my brothers and sisters. We are called to love. We are not called to fight or to rebel or to bring our fellow brothers and sisters down. The proper reaction to someone posting a black profile picture is to show love. The proper reaction to someone protesting over George Floyd's death is to show love. The proper reaction to someone hurting you is to show love. The proper reaction to someone not understanding you is to show love. And the proper reaction to someone hating and oppressing you is to show love. Love is the answer Jesus gave. Let us stop pretending like we have a better answer. In Ephesians, there's a beautiful passage which goes, "To me, though I am the very least of all the saints, this grace was given to preach to the Gentiles the unsearchable riches of Christ, and to bring to light for everyone what is the plan of the mystery hidden for ages in God who created all things." Now listen. "So that through the church, the manifold wisdom of God might now be made known to the rulers and authorities in the heavenly places." The church is meant to be a demonstration of God's infinite wisdom. We are meant to display this wisdom through our unity and through our faithfulness to one another and our love for one another. And in so doing, show all those beings in the heavenly realms, including Satan, God's glory and God's power through the church. Let's love one another. Let's do this the way that the Word asks us to do it, the way that God asks us to do it. Show love to one another. Thank you.